Well, at the fourth edition of Kautilya Economic Enclave in New Delhi, joining me is Mr. Andrés Velasco, who is the Dean of School of Public Policy at London School of Economics, also former Finance Minister of Chile. Thank you so much for joining us, Andrés, and welcome to New Delhi. I'm going to begin by asking you that throughout the day, the conversations today have been quite spearing on the fact that how global uncertainties have caught quite a wave, yet economies across remain resilient. How do you see what is your outlook of the world economy?
I would start with the fact that we're living in a much stormier world. The politics is worse. Technology is ever changing. That could be a plus, but at times it can also be a minus. We have climate change. We've come out of a pandemic. And of course, the United States, the largest country in the world economy, has stopped acting like a leader and is now causing all kinds of trouble. And this is a challenge for large countries like India and for small countries like my own.
Right. And where do you see the challenge or the opportunity for countries like you said, small countries like India or say the UK?
Well, I think the first lesson that we have to learn is that we can all live without necessarily trading with the United States or having the States as our only trading partner. If you look at what's been happening to trade within Asia, for instance, you see that China is now trading more with other countries in East Asia. You see that India is also trading with more countries across the world. And so this means that we face new challenges, that we also develop new opportunities and we carry on.
New opportunities to be developed by countries to face the uncertainties. Quite right. I want to also bring some focus on the fact that India and UK recently got into a FTA, and that is going to come into implementation anytime probably next year. How do you see the opportunities for both these countries when they are in this trade pact?
I think there are plenty of opportunities. The UK made one big mistake, which was leaving the European Union, and is now trying to make up for that mistake by developing trade pacts with the rest of the world. We have learned recently that the UK is a Pacific country. It is now part of the CPPT, which covers countries in the Pacific region. Of course, we will let the map complain, but I think it's good news overall. Just as it is good news overall that the UK and India should have a trade agreement. There are plenty of complementarities. The kinds of goods that the UK specializes in are not the kinds of goods that India specializes in. And of course, there are all kinds of other links, historic, cultural, educational. I run a school in London where by far the largest group of students is from India. So when it comes to all kinds of exchanges between the two countries, I say the more the merrier.
Great. Where do you see China's role in all of this that is happening currently?
Well, China is clearly a huge player in the world economy. It has been for a quarter century now, and it will remain there. I think it is important that China play by the same rules as everybody else. That means gradually liberalizing its economy so that more countries have access to the Chinese market in the same way that China has had access to the markets of other countries. It is also important that China, if it signs free trade agreements with countries, make sure that they are WTO compatible, and therefore China should extend the same privileges as other countries are entitled to. And last but not least, China has become a very large creditor to many countries, including to many countries in South America, where I come from. And I think gradually, it's been a slow process, but gradually China is coming to understand that if you're a creditor, this also entails some obligations. One of these obligations, for instance, is to participate in debt restructurings. When countries borrow, every so often they get into trouble, you have to restructure. Every creditor should participate. In the beginning, China was reluctant. More recently, they've been doing it. I think that's good news.
One quick last question. Tell us and give us a few insights into the London consensus. It comes right after the Washington consensus, but at a very crucial time.
Well, it's been 35 years exactly since the Washington consensus was launched, and the world has changed, the economics profession has changed, and today we understand certain things were right about the Washington consensus, The Washington Consensus was right in the fact that large fiscal deficits are a bad idea, that too much debt is a bad idea, and that printing money to cover deficits is a bad idea, that open trade is good. But the Washington Consensus was absolutely silent on a number of issues. It had very little to say about dynamic economic growth, very little to say about climate change, very little to say about equality, and therefore economics as it stands today can offer principles for countries to address these challenges. Why do I say principles? Because you can take a principle and apply it in different ways in different countries, depending on the stage of development of that country. So we can take a few things that the Washington Consensus suggested that were proper and correct and useful, and then change plenty of others.
Thank you very much, Andrés, and looking forward to the release of the London Consensus.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.